Thank everyone for coming. This is the biggest crowd we've had, so we'll work around it. There's some picnic tables in the other room, overflow for eating, and then when we come out for the awards, we'll have some chairs around the corners. So we're going to get started in about 5 minutes, so please find your seats, and again, thank you. I want to welcome everyone to the 10th annual MLK Breakfast. This is one of our most special. Dr. Shaver, is that proper English? Most special? Okay. Events, and we honor kids from all the Wareham schools, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, Bishop Stang, Upper Cape. We also have a Community Service Award. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Without them, it's a difficult event. Their money goes to help us run the club. Bridgewater State University is our major sponsor. Every year they come through big time for us, and they did again, so I want to thank all the sponsors for that. My advisory committee, they're scattered around. If you're here, please stand up. Members of our advisory committee, Larry Sana, Jack Coughlin, Chairman Mike Gomes, Dr. Shaberhood. The advisory committee was put together to help the Boys and Girls Club, and we have like 21 members, and they're doing a phenomenal job. I want to thank my staff. Without them, I'm not standing up here, especially my boss Joyce in the back. She keeps me in check, and Nikita and Sally, and the rest of them. I want to thank and welcome members of the school committee, Dr. Shaberhood, and also members of the Board of Selectmen and all the other community organizations that help us. And my special guest, Mr. Ben Hughes, the chairman of the Arts and Water Department. Just had an embarrassment. A couple of logistics. There's a bathroom, men on one side, women on the other side. There's an adult bathroom right here, first door on the left. We're going to do something a little different this year to try to speed up the processes. While the MLK video is playing, we'll have tables going up to eat food while the video is playing. Because the video takes a few minutes, and don't want to drag it out and have you here all day, even though we appreciate you coming. Coffee's in the back. When the food is served, we'll enter through one door, out the other, and back to your tables, okay? So at this time, I would like to bring up two members of the Boys and Girls Club, Anthony Peluso, Adam D. They're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone, please stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Matthews. Please remain standing for the national anthem, which I predict is going to be sung by the next American Idol. Please remain standing for the national anthem, which I predict is going to be sung by the next American Idol.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous that I've lacked was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
He just made it through to the next round. Now, I'm happy to introduce Pastor Gerald Fernandez Jr. for the invitation.
Good morning, everyone. Pope John Paul II wrote, "The Christian is called with grace of God's invoked in prayer to sometimes heroic commitments in life. It is he or she who is submitted by the virtues and fortitudes by whereby, as Gregory the Great teaches, one can actually love the difficulties of this world for the sake of eternal reward." Let us pray this morning as we enter this time where a lot of celebration and remembrance of a great dream, of the loss of Martin Luther King, but also as we celebrate these dreams of young people today who will go into our great nation and do great things. Let us lay aside the cares of the day and connect with God's grace that nourishes us and cares for us in our times of need. We gather today to reflect on the life of Martin Luther King Jr., a man who was committed to riddling this world of social sin resulted in discrimination and to defame the character of other people, and ultimately his own death. Dr. King is one of the most influential men of our times. His life and ministry continues to remind our nation and the world that the acts of injustice we confront daily require the faithful fulfillment and the faith-guided encouragement of our heads, our hearts, and our hands. As we collectively gather together today in this assembly, united in one spirit of faith and hope, and our prayer will ultimately change our lives, change our community, and change this world. Dr. King asked in a great speech to all of us, "Grant that we all will always reach out for that which is on high, realizing that we are made for the stars, created for the everlasting bourne of eternity. Let us reach beyond our present circumstances and know that the eternal God hears our prayers, that we can reach for more than what we see. It's about the destiny and the dreams that lay upon all of our hearts today that gives us hope to move forward." Precious Father, we thank you for this moment. We thank you for the food and the fellowship that we're about to have. In Jesus' name, amen.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to have Steve play the video, and I'm going to ask the first table over here with our keynote speaker, and the front row here, you can start lining up right where Raekwon is at that door. And then as the line goes down, we'll get the next row, and all that. Then we're going to come back after breakfast and present the awards, okay? got Dr. Kimberly Schneeberhood, Superintendent of Schools, and the Honorable Susan Williams-Gifford, as they will give out the awards. Also, all the presenters, please come up from the high school, middle, YMCA, Stang, up the Cape. You can line up in the back. That'll be very appreciated.
To celebrate their successes. In today's turbulent times, any time that we have a chance to be positive, to share good news, it's a welcome experience.
Thank you, Doctor. Good morning, everyone. My pleasure to be here with you again today, and it seems like for years now, we've always had some rather challenging weather on the day of this event, so I guess we should be grateful that it's not below zero or that the heavy snow isn't falling yet. But we're here for a very, very honorable cause, and some wonderful young achievers who are very deserving of this award on this very special day. And I have citations also for all of the recipients. I would just like to read one, and because the wording is going to be the same for all. But the citations read, "The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the House of Representatives. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincere congratulations in recognition of being awarded a 2018 Martin Luther King Jr. Youth Spirit Award for overall character, leadership, determination, and belief in justice and equality for all. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given this 15th day of January 2018 at the State House, Boston, Massachusetts, by Robert A. DeLeo, Speaker of the House, and offered by yours truly, Susan Williams-Gifford." So I'll turn it back over to you, Doctor.
Thank you very much. And I would like to invite Mr. Palladino from Wareham High School to make the first presentation.
Okay, I'm going to call Dante Andre to the stage, please. Dante. So while he's coming up, so every year we ask for the staff through a survey to nominate students, and then we send that back out through a Google survey to nominate the finalists. So Dante was the senior that was selected by the staff unanimously. I first had an opportunity to meet Dante as a freshman, and his dean of student at the time, the first week, said this will be one of your top students in the class of 2018. So lo and behold, almost 4 years later, Dante's up here as the number 8 student in the senior class. He's very involved, both academically, athletically, and involved in clubs and activities, as I'm sure you read his biography in regards to his accolades at Wareham High School. He's a member of the Junior Honor Society for 2 years. He's received the Top 10 award for almost every year that he's been at the high school. He's involved in football, winter track, spring track, and the best thing that we can say about Dante is he really emulates the qualities that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. demonstrated. He's very polite. He's respectful, he's a kind person, he works with our younger staff, and he's just a great, great person to have around Wareham High School. He holds down a part-time job in his very spare time, and he's also looking to go on and study engineering after high school, so congratulations, Dante Andre.
And next, Wareham Middle School, Dr. Stead.
Thank you. Can I please have Alton McCain come to the stage? When it was announced that Alton was the recipient, you had a number of teachers in the school who were anxious to talk about Alton. And as you read his biography, you'll see that a number of teachers wanted to speak on your behalf, but today I'm here to read a passage from Ms. Barton, who's also in the audience tonight, about what she wrote about you that I thought really touches why you receive this award. Every day, Alton McCain lives the principles of Dr. King's beloved community. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. Be your brother's keeper. Alton is a quiet leader who leads by example and whose power to create positive change comes from within, a strength and conviction of what is right, just, and most of all, kind. Alton personifies Dr. King's vision of a peaceful revolution led by young people of vision and conviction. Earlier in his middle school career, he joined the youth empowerment group of the CARE after-school program, also known as the Builders. Alton helped create projects that helped others, whether it was hats for homeless people, maintaining a cleaner community with litter removal, or providing food for fellow students in need. Alton put his hands in and did the work. He led by example. While admittedly quiet, Alton provides his opinion when asked and is always well considered and thoughtful. Alton will always speak up when he sees something that should not be happening, with a courage founded in a firm belief of what is right. With his philanthropic leading by gentle yet strong example, Alton personifies the principles of the movement Dr. King championed, a world where people are judged by the content of their character, where people value kindness and see the value of caring for all. It is my privilege to give this award to Alton McCain.
I invite Mrs. Joe Siemens, Minot Elementary.
Thank you. Jazara Lima, could you come up, please? Jazara is new to Wareham. She came to Minot for us in September, and she already has made a great impact at our school. So she's a hard worker, and these are words from your teachers. A kind friend and a positive classmate. Since she's moved to Wareham in September, Jazara has made an effort to include all students and give her best effort in everything that she does. Although she is sometimes shy and quiet, Jazara is a leader because her actions speak louder than words. Jazara includes all students and always works well with others. Her smile is warm and always ready to welcome a new friend. So the entire fourth grade team met to come up with the student that they wanted to nominate, and Jazara's name was unanimous. So congratulations, Jazara.
Mrs. Chandler from Deacon's Elementary.
Thank you, Dr. Shaverhood. I'd like Tyler Cannon to come join me on the stage, please. This year, I asked the specialist to choose a candidate from the grade 2 population. Unanimously, they chose Tyler Cannon. I'm going to read an excerpt from his teacher, Mr. Roach. Tyler is a wonderfully compassionate, loving boy. He is supportive as classmates and has taken a keen interest in helping students in need. He is admired by his peers, but is humble about his popular reputation. He's an outstanding athlete, but often chooses to play with others out on the field. All of his peers respond well to him and follow his lead. He has a heart of gold. He is also willing to help other students when the need arises. Not only that, but Tyler is an excellent student who wants to be successful in the classroom. He aims to please, works hard every day, and is a positive role model. Congratulations, Tyler.
And next, the representative from Bishop Stang.
So Justin's a junior at Bishop Stang. You guys can read the transcript about him, but I got Justin when he was a freshman, and we all know him as the athlete, the great basketball, football player, but knowing him as a person is it's very special. The ultimate leader, great role model for his siblings. If I could have made him a captain as a freshman, I would have. The leadership that he's instilled into himself is contagious to everyone around him, and I'm very proud. He has a state title ring, and this award is by far greater than that, and great job.
Upper Cape.
Tatiana Foskey, come on down. Tatiana Foskey is a student in my environmental shop at Upper Cape Regional Technical School. She exceeds every expectation in every avenue. She's a great communicator, looks in the eye, gives you a firm handshake, and gets the job done. You can count on Tatiana to help you whenever you need her. She does the work and does it well. She contributes positively throughout the school. Her attitude and her smile brightens up everybody she sees on a daily basis. She's always in a great mood, and she's always ready to work, which is very unusual. She's always there for you. I got to know her as not just a shop teacher, but also as a Skills USA advisor. So we took her to Kentucky for a whole week, and she told me what to do every day, and it worked out really, really well. She's also achieved her ADCPR certification, and we served her OSHA 40 as well as her OSHA 10 training. She's placed bronze at the Skills USA Nationals, so third best in the entire country what she does. That really takes a special tribute. But most importantly, she's taking advantage of the opportunities that she has at Upper Cape Tech. She turned a simple internship into a paying co-op job and hopefully into a career in the future as a wastewater treatment plant operator. She's a very talented high school student and always on the move. Tatiana is a true champion at work, both in and out of school. Thank you, Tatiana. Congratulations.
And next, I invite Gleason, YMCA, Mrs. Finglaw.
Good morning, everyone. So at the Gleason Y, what we do is we ask in our leadership team meeting each week, and this week in particular, when Kenny sent the email out looking for nominations, we discussed this as a group, and there was quite a bit of discussion, and 2 names popped up. So I took the opportunity to award 2 recipients this year. So first off, I'm going to ask Jordan Medeiros to step on up. Jordan was nominated by Melissa Dyer and Susan Clark. Jordan is a genuinely kind young man with a strong work ethic and dedication to his ideals and the desire to please others and assist others. At the Y, he was an immense help as a technical support during the Gleason Family YMCA Riptide Swim Team home meets. YMCA Riptide Swim Team is really where we see him most. Without his assistance, the team would have had short staff, which is always a challenge, and unable to function at the level necessary for competition. His efforts not only made other volunteers' jobs easier, it allowed the staff to relax knowing that it was under full control. Jordan is a freshman at the Sturgis West Charter School in Hyannis, where he has been an officer of the Honor Society since his 6th grade. His JV team called him very intelligent, and he's consistent with the assets that the program's enjoyed. He's enjoyed a coach. Jordan received the Global Presidential Academic Award for having a grade A in all of his subjects in a quarter. And that's throughout middle school as well. He is an active member of the St. Patrick's Church, volunteering for church events and with the community health cleanup. So Jordan is certainly a recipient that the Gleason Y is extremely proud of, and we want to congratulate him on his honor. And our second recipient is Mr. Mace Longfield. So come on up, Mace. Mace was nominated by Tim Hall, our office manager. I've had the privilege of knowing Mace for just about 3 years that I've been at the Gleason YMCA. He's a good buddy of mine. So Mace is a first-year student at Upper Cape High School. He's been involved with the Y as a member and as a volunteer for many years. He's a busy student. He's played football this year for his first time, and he always makes time to help with many of the events at the Y. He's always there for our family fun events, including our Healthy Kids Day, our flashlight Easter egg hunts, our 5K road race. He's always side by side helping out, whether it's myself, his mom. It's just always a family event there, and he's so helpful every time that he's come there. His personality is quite entertaining as well. I'm going to show a little bit today. He most recently oversaw the raffle at the table at our holiday craft fair, and that really raised money for our annual campaign. Mace, when you think of Mace, the one word that comes to mind is selflessness. Mace is what the Y is all about. He really exemplifies that, and we're proud of what he does day in and day out. It's my privilege and my honor to give you this award today. Congratulations, Mace.
And next, the Boys and Girls Club.
Anthony Peluso. So ever since Anthony began attending the club, he's been helpful, respectful, and a role model to all other members. When I started here, I was even told that anything I need, ask Anthony. He can tell you how to do it, where to get it, and how to get it done. Because of his maturity last summer, Anthony was invited to become a junior staff member. With this title came more responsibility, and he was held to the same expectations as the staff. Anthony has continued to be a valuable member of the club, and we appreciate all he does. Even today, as he came to the door, he's holding the door open for guests, he's pushing our trash barrels around, collecting your trash, he is always helping. It's been a privilege to watch him grow into the exceptional young man he is becoming. Congratulations, Anthony.
Meadow. Meadow has always loved to read out loud with a staff member and would sound out the words she didn't know. Remember that? We used to do that together? Now, with a lot of homework involves getting on the computer, Meadow comes in and does each assignment independently and thoroughly. Don't you? First thing you ask me is, can I get on the computer to do my homework? Meadow is very pleasant and kind to the staff and other members. She is cooperative, helpful. If there's someone that needs something, right? You help. Meadow was one of the players in our club's Christmas play too, huh? And took her role seriously. She's helped other players with their costumes and set designs too. She is also a member of the robotics club, which she enjoys, don't you? She's a cutie pie too. Congratulations, Meadow.
If we could give our award winners one more round of applause. And finally, I would be amiss if I did not thank Mr. Fonz, the Boys and Girls Club, for their support, their involvement, and all the positive actions and experiences they provide for the youth in Wareham. So thank you very much.
How about a nice hand for the next future student at Wareham High School? His favorite player is Kyrie Irving for you basketball fans. Before I do the Community Service Award, I have to recognize two more people that came in after introductions, and they're a major part of the club. First, all the programs going after sponsors. This lady is absolutely unbelievable. My good friend Linda Burke. I had explained to the wife every day I'm leaving to go see Linda, so after a while she was wondering if this is the results, all this hard work. And also our executive director that works hard to keep both clubs going. Honored to Rob Mendes in the corner. Every year we recognize someone in the community for going over and beyond, doing a lot of work, whether it's volunteering hours, donating equipment, money, whatever. We've had a lot of great community service award winners, and this year's recipient is going to be no different. Thank God for the dollar store for these glasses. Community Celebration Breakfast Community Service Award. For your countless hours of dedication to the Wareham Club and your continued hard work and helping the club both financially and academically for the past 10 years. You're truly an inspiration and a role model as the definition of volunteering for services for the youth of our community. I'm very happy to present this to this year's recipient, Mr. Jack Coughlin. Thank you, Jack, for all you do. At this time, I'd like to ask Chief Walsh to come forward. Chief Walsh will be introducing our keynote speaker. They go way back, and he was honored when we asked him if he would do this. Chief Walsh.
Thank you very much. I want to start off by saying a true story. The last time I was on this stage, 1970, and I sang a Partridge Family song in a talent show. I won't do it. Teddy, you got nothing to worry about that. I actually should have been arrested that day. But that is true. You know, too often, my duties involve the negative side of incidents and issues involving Wareham and onset. But today I have the privilege of presenting a clear example of the real Wareham and its positive side, which in my opinion far outweighs the negative side, but never received the same attention. I'm so proud and honored to be introducing this morning's keynote speaker. And actually, this is one of my proudest moments, because I'm so aware of the caliber of person that this person is. Now, I want to start by saying that I've been telling former classmates and people I know throughout town that I had the privilege of introducing the keynote speaker this morning, and some name clarifications have to be made. So they'll say, you're introducing Ed? Oh, you mean Donnie? You're introducing Donnie. Okay, yeah. Oh, you mean Vito? You're introducing Vito? Yeah. Or Eddie? You mean Edward? Okay, so what I want to do is tell you that although I'm going to read his bio, after that I'm going to refer to him as Eddie, so we all know who we're speaking about. Eddie Gomes. Our keynote speaker this morning, Edward D. Gomes Jr. And believe me, I know he'd want me to say the junior part. He is currently the Senior Associate Dean for the Trinity College of Arts and Science Office of the Technology Services at Duke University, overseeing information technology planning services resource allocation, and integration for over 80 departments. He's also chairs or serves on numerous campus and regional planning committees related to academic technology, technology support, and space planning. Prior to his current role, Ed served as the head of information for Duke University Libraries. One of his most proudest achievements was the collaborative implementation of the first Duke University surplus computer donation program, supporting Durham, North Carolina public schools and nonprofit organizations, which developed into the university-wide program that still exists today. Since arriving at Duke University in 1986, Ed served as the head of information for the Duke University Libraries Systems Programmer for the Duke General Clinical Research Center, Medical Center, and held research positions in the Department of Medicine and the Department of Psychology. By the way, while all that professional bioinformation is impressive and undoubtedly time-consuming, Ed found time to jointly develop laser surgical methods that resulted in a U.S. patent awarded in 1993. And he previously co-hosted a Sunday night evening jazz radio program with his wife Lois, and serves as a member of the board of directors for the St. Joseph Historic Foundation in Durham and the African American Dance Ensemble. Ed is a 1985 graduate of Bridgewater State University with a bachelor's degree in physics, but more importantly, is a 1980 graduate of Wareham High School. Now, this biographical information, with very good reason, makes a lot of people say, wow, whoa. There are many of us who say, Eddie Gomes, right? Yeah, well, that figures. I'm not surprised. A basketball coach you might have heard of at Duke, Mike Krzyzewski, was quoted as saying, leadership is an evolving proposition. Well, beginning with a foundation of strong family values. To those of us who knew Eddie from the early years, he was always a natural leader who carried himself with class, humility, and fittingly today, the highest content of character. These are leadership traits that are easier said than done. And if you will, the traits Eddie Gomes had that were on display at all times. And they're the core of his personality. Eddie was a natural leader by example without even knowing it, just by the way he carried himself and by the way he treated others. His leadership qualities obviously evolved into his life and career in North Carolina. Students in the room today, you know who the type of person I'm talking about. That fellow student who listens and includes everyone. That student who treats everyone fairly and is just genuinely a nice person. Or that student that other students just seem to fall in line behind when told to form a line. For those of us headed for graduation at Wareham High School in 1980, that student was Eddie Gomes, whose personal qualities quietly but effectively translated into the overall leadership qualities that just can't be taught. You know, I have to say, while the main ingredients to Eddie's success include family, class, and character, he always topped off that recipe with a touch of style. For example, in Minor Forest School, certain students were picked as Minor Forest leaders, and we got these t-shirts, and it was a big deal to get these t-shirts. It said Minor Leader on it. We put on our t-shirts, we come to school, I put on a t-shirt, everybody's gonna look at us. We put these t-shirts on, walk into school, Eddie comes in, he's got a fresh white turtleneck. All nice, perfect, everything's done. We all got mine behind Eddie Gomes. That was the 5th grade. So this is why I say that while Eddie's professional bio in North Carolina is certainly impressive, his family and those who grew up with him in Wareham well know it isn't surprising. We all say it figures. Again, I'd like to say how proud and honored I am to introduce this morning's keynote speaker. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my Wareham High School classmate, friend, and Wareham's son, Eddie Gomes.
You all are going to be so disappointed after that intro. Holy smokes. This is fantastic. This is a great honor. I certainly would not have expected to be invited to do a keynote presentation, let alone at an event like this. I certainly appreciate being invited. Kenny, wherever you are, thanks a lot. And by the way, the Boys and Girls Club, you're doing a fantastic job, and I just want to applaud you personally. You guys do. When I got the invitation, I actually got the invitation to do this back in January. They contacted me and said, after last year's event, they said, do you think you might be interested in doing that? And it took about 5 minutes for me to say yes. And then about 3 weeks ago, I guess, Kenny and I started corresponding about this. He said, well, who am I presenting to? Am I presenting to, is this mostly adults, is this mostly kids? He said, talk to the kids, talk to the young ones. But after listening to the descriptions of all of these fine young students, I'm not sure that I can teach them anything. I mean, it's just a fantastic group of individuals, and listening to the descriptions of how they are and how they've achieved. It's just tremendous, and it makes me feel great about what's happening here in Wareham. And when I agreed to do this, I was really enthusiastic about it. And then about a week ago, somebody at the university contacted me, and they said, we hear that you're giving an MLK keynote presentation in Wareham, Massachusetts. Now, I hadn't told anybody about this other than my family and maybe a handful of friends, and so I said, yeah. And the issue is that they have people who have, it's the News and Communication Office, it's their job to figure out who's doing what where, and they felt that this was a fabulous opportunity to talk about what someone at the university is doing. But the first question that they asked me says, so what's your connection to Wareham, Massachusetts? So let's start with that. Let's start with my connection here to Wareham. So I was born at St. Luke's Hospital in New Bedford, Massachusetts, January 21st, 1962. So yes, next week I will be 56 years old. My mother says they sent her to St. Luke's because they thought they were going to have trouble with me, and they didn't realize that it was going to be after I was born that there was going to be trouble. I went to kindergarten at St. Patrick's Church. I went to elementary school at East Wareham Elementary School. I went to Minor Forest, as Kevin said. I then jumped from, that was 4th through 6th grade. 7th grade, I went to intermediate school. And then Wareham, it was at the time 8th through 12th. So now the elementary school is not an elementary school anymore. It's some other building. I drove by it today and drove by too fast to read the sign, but I know it's not a school. Mine is now the elementary school. Intermediate is an office for the rec department and some other things. And my high school is now the middle school. So times have definitely changed. Like many of the young folks in the room today, at least I thought I was a good student. And I played sports. I played Little League and Babe Ruth baseball. I did midget football. I did high school cross-country basketball, tennis, and track. And like some of you in the room, I also worked a little bit. I worked some jobs working my way through school. I had a paper route in the neighborhood. And then I started working summer jobs from the time I was 14, 15 years old, all the way through college. I painted houses for Mr. K. Those of you who know who Mr. K is, Joe Christopolsky. Or as I like to tell my friends from Duke, the original Coach K. I worked at the Hilltop stores near Oakdale. I worked at the TV repair shop. I installed the antennas and delivered appliances, and I did whatever else they asked me to do, and occasionally, every once in a while, I'd work in the package store in the evenings, you know, and see some of the folks there coming through. I also worked at Mark Anthony's in Onset for a number of years, working my way through that. When I started working at Mark Anthony's, I was washing dishes. And I graduated from washing dishes to working at the grill. And I graduated from the grill to making the pizzas. And I graduated from making the pizzas to being an assistant manager at Mark Anthony's. And I actually kept that job as I worked my way through my final years at Bridgewater State. So that's part of my Wareham life. And things have certainly changed. I have fond memories of Wareham. I come back regularly to visit the family. And when I meet people, new people, and it doesn't make a difference where I meet them, whether I meet them in Durham, North Carolina, or whether I meet them in some other place around the world or the country, I say, I live in Durham, but I'm from Wareham, Massachusetts. Well, I also need to say that my Aunt Pritchie told me I couldn't keep you here too long, so I'm going to try to keep this going. So on this day, we celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. We celebrate his life and his legacy. We recognize his hard work to lead some of the efforts to move this country forward. We recognize how hard he worked for civil rights. We recognize how hard he worked to bring us closer together as a nation. He dedicated and ultimately gave his life to make sure that every individual in this country receives equal treatment in order to have equal opportunity. So most of you already know the story. I mean, you got to see the video. You know the story about Martin Luther King. And you also know the story of this country's struggle for equal treatment. So I won't go too deeply into that. And I also want to say that equal treatment, I'm not talking about the law. The law refers to equal protections, which is guaranteed the same rights, privileges, and protections for all of its citizens. And that's part of the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. However, regardless of what the law said, people in this country were not always treated equally. And because of that, they did not have equal opportunity. So that's what Dr. King and so many others worked for. And for their sacrifice, we owe Dr. King and others a debt of gratitude. So what about opportunity? So one definition of opportunity is a set of circumstances that make it possible to do something. So the something you choose to do with that opportunity is up to you. And to me, this is where my message for the young ones comes in. What you choose to do with that opportunity depends on many things, but in the end, you're going to have to put in the work to succeed at whatever that something is. And whatever the something you choose can change over time. You may take that path to get there, and that path of mine have many twists and turns. So, we'll go back to talking about me a little bit. After I finished at Bridgewater, I went back to work at Mark Anthony's that summer while I was looking for other career opportunities. I had had an interview here or there, but I didn't have the luck finding what I thought was going to be my career opportunity. So as I was going through that exercise, I like to call him my cousin Joby Branyan, played football at Duke University. And when he finished his career at the university and got signed by the Redskins, but got cut on the last day, he went back to Duke and took a job at Duke University. And he and I spoke about some of my issues here, and he decided that maybe you should try North Carolina. We've got Research Triangle Park, we've got the university, we've got the other universities down there. You're a smart guy, you can find a job. So I had that conversation with my parents to say, I'm going to pack up the car and I'm going to go down to Durham and give it a run, and give it a try. They were not too pleased. They were concerned that I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. I didn't have a job down there. What were you going to do? But after we talked about it, we talked about what my opportunity was and that I was willing to take that chance. They said, we think you're crazy, but go for it. So that's what I did. So I moved to North Carolina, Joby and I got an apartment together, and I started interviewing for jobs down there. First job I landed was in sales, and I'm a terrible salesman. I was awful. So, needless to say, I was struggling a little bit to try to figure out how to make ends meet. But in January of 1986, I was hired at Duke University to work in the admissions office. So that's the office you send in your applications to, so Duke can try to figure out whether you're going to attend there or not. It was a great job. I enjoyed it. It wasn't necessarily the best paying job, but it was an opportunity. I got my foot in the door at Duke, which is a big thing. After that, I was able to get into a number of interesting jobs as I progressed through my career. The first job I had was in that Department of Psychology for a faculty member who was everywhere. I mean, he was into psychology and ophthalmology and engineering, and I was able to start doing work. And the first job that I had was actually doing research with lasers, which was a fantastically interesting job, and it actually got to take advantage of the work that I did in college when I studied physics. I thought, this is great, this is fabulous. But it wasn't necessarily the career that I was going to be on, and I looked for other opportunities. So the next job I took was in the medical research department at the university, where we did medical research to study what medications work best to support and try to combat heart disease. Again, another fabulous opportunity. From there, I was able to improve my computer skills, some of the computer skills that I learned in high school and college, which helped me to land a job managing computer networks and computer systems for a medical research clinic at Duke University Hospital. When I was there, again, a great opportunity to expand my skills. I expanded my computer knowledge. I was posting websites. I was running large data systems. Some of the systems were managing patient information and financial data. I learned a lot, and I also had the opportunity to be put in charge of managing the money that the unit had to have every year in order to support their computer systems. So I took advantage of some of the accounting and the econ classes that I took when I was in college. From there, I was hired to work as the head of information systems for Duke University Libraries. In that role, I was actually given the opportunity to not just manage systems, but to manage people who were helping to provide support for computers within the library. Another opportunity to expand on my management skills that I learned at Mark Anthony's, of all places. But again, those are things that translate. So we have an opportunity to take that and to take that next opportunity and then learn some more. All this experience led to an opportunity to be hired at my current job, and I started out as the Associate Dean for Technology, and now I'm the Senior Associate Dean for Technology at the largest undergraduate program at the university. And I also have sort of a joint reporting responsibility within the central IT organization. And so it's a big job, it's a great job, it's a lot of fun, and as you can ask my mother, it keeps me busy 24/7, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So even though I didn't know it at the time, the many jobs that I held while I lived in Wareham, and the courses I took in high school and college, actually helped me prepare for each of the jobs that I've had since I've been in North Carolina. It also prepared me to take advantage of opportunities, and taking advantage of those opportunities helped me create my path to success. So, in my path, as you can see, was not a straight line. I had many doubts along the way, and I had lots of failures, and I made mistakes. But ultimately, I learned from those failures and mistakes. I gained confidence, and I kept moving forward along my path. Now, some people look at failure as a reason to stop looking further down that path, to give up before the next opportunity presents itself. But there's a saying that I like to quote, and that talks directly to this. The only people who don't fail are the people who don't ever try. I believe that's true, and I believe that you should look at failure and mistakes as part of the learning experience. Hopefully you'll learn not to repeat those mistakes, and you'll continue that journey down your path to success. Now, my wife isn't here today, but as my family knows, she's a wonderful person, and she's always full of wonderful advice. She grew up in North Carolina as one of 10 children from a small town. much smaller than Wareham. I used to tell her that I came from a small town in Massachusetts. And then she came to visit the folks, and we had Walmart and Home Depot and lots of other things. And then I went to visit her hometown. Her hometown doesn't even have a stoplight. They have one blinking light that leads to the main road that takes you from one town to the next. The nearest neighbor could be a mile from your house. And on a good day, the population of her hometown is 500 people. No grocery stores, no gas stations, the schools are miles away. And as an adult living in that town, you didn't work in town because there wasn't any work for you. You had to commute. Now, people in Wareham do the same thing. They commute long hours to go and commute. My sister drives to Boston every day to do her job. My dad used to work construction, and he would have to travel long distances on a daily basis to go and work for a living. When you were a kid growing up in a town like that, you didn't have a lot of opportunities other than, if you were connected to the school, that was great. But after a while, especially in the summer times, there wasn't a whole lot for you to do. So they'd work on the farms. They would work on the farms if they had farmland, or they'd work on somebody else's farm if they could find another job working on the farm. But when they got older, they left the town to go and find work in the summer. Some of them, like I said, they worked on the farm. But when you get old enough, what you did was you traveled someplace else for the summer to go and work. Sometimes that meant you would go to where your family was located in Raleigh, which is about an hour away from where they are, Greensboro, some other place in North Carolina. In some cases, it meant they traveled to Philadelphia and New York and Atlantic City to go work. They all did this. And they didn't do it because they wanted to do it, they did it because it was expected. Because that was the way that they were going to learn and they were going to get out and see the world. So, they had 10 kids and they all went through the same exercise. And my wife wanted to pass along this message because she thought it was important. In those travels, one of the best things that they learned was they got to experience what life was like someplace else. They got to go and try to work with people that were not familiar with them. They got to experience other cities and other places because it was a great opportunity for them. That experience was important because as you go through your travels and as you try to move forward in your career, you're going to run into a lot of people who are not like you, who don't think like you, who don't look like you. They come from different cultures and different backgrounds. And it's important for you to understand how to work in those environments and how to deal with other people who are not like you. That experience will help you as you move through the world. Those 10 kids went out into the world and they all found success in their own way. One became a lawyer, one became a news person for CNN, who eventually also worked overseas in Turkey and China as a news anchor. One became a social worker, a nurse. 3 went into the Army and got out and took jobs in civil service jobs in other parts of the States, one of them in DC, one of them in Greensboro. One is a mathematician who works on God knows, because we think he's a spy, but we're not really sure what he does. One worked for Ford Motor Company and went back to school, and now she's an accounting individual working for the Center for Disease Control. Lots of different walks of life, lots of different opportunity, lots of different success, and success could mean a lot of different things. So again, it's important to take advantage of those experiences. Be inquisitive about the world that you don't know about. Learn about people that are different than you, explore your opportunities towards success in school, work, and life in general, because you just never know. In the world we live in today, with the internet and access to information, you don't have to do what my wife's brothers and sisters did. You don't have to travel to some other faraway town or faraway place in order to learn about the world. You have the world at your fingertips with the internet and everything else. You get your smartphones, you get your computer. You can use those for more than just texting, Snapchat, Facebook, or whatever it is that the young people do today, because I'm one of those old guys now. So, but find out about the world, explore what's out there, and when you're ready to take that journey, you'll be more prepared for success. I'm going to get you out of here, Christian. So, as Dr. King said, one of his most famous quotes, or at least famous from my perspective, faith is taking the first step even when you can't see the whole staircase. In other words, just because you aren't sure exactly what's ahead of you, don't be afraid. If you don't believe there's a path for you, you'll never start to take that journey. I believed I could do it, so I was willing to take those steps, knowing that if I stumbled along the way, I could still get there. I also believe that it's true for each and every one of you in this room. So here's my question for the young folks in the room. What is it that you believe? Will you take advantage of the opportunities you're given? What steps will you take to create your own path? Will you be ready to keep moving down that path if you stumble along the way? Will you be afraid to explore another path if the one you take today isn't the one you'll be on tomorrow? I think those are important questions that you need to be prepared to answer. And you have people in this room who want to help you. So take advantage of that opportunity as well. Dr. King's path was not a straight line. His path wasn't set when he went to public school in Atlanta or when he went to college at Morehouse. It wasn't set when he went to seminary in Pennsylvania or when he decided to become a pastor of his church. It wasn't set when he left the calling, where he felt the calling, to become a leader for civil rights, justice, and equal opportunity. Or even when he made his I Have a Dream speech in DC. So just like you're going to do, he stumbled along the way. He learned what he could do to help him in his cause. And he wasn't afraid to face what he might face down the path, knowing that there were dangers along the way. But it was his dream that one day you would have opportunity to choose your own path without somebody choosing it for you. It was his dream that when you considered what path to take, there wasn't someone telling you that that path was closed to you. And it was his dream that you would never be afraid to explore what's out there for you, so you could use whatever knowledge you gain to become the best you can be at whatever you choose to do. That's my message for you today. It's up to us to keep that dream alive. And after what I've seen and heard today, I feel really good about that. So again, I want to thank you all very much. I want to congratulate you all for your awards. You make me feel good that the dream is alive. And I look forward to reading all about you in the future, so you can come up here and come back and talk to your folks about your success. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Eddie, Donnie Vito. Couldn't fit all that on the plaque, it would have cost $34. Thank you for your support and inspiring speech at our celebration. Your dedication to reach out to the young teens, adults, kids in our town is greatly appreciated. You are setting a path that would be so rewarding for more young boys and girls to follow. Presented to Mr. Edward Gomes Jr. on behalf of the Boys and Girls Club of Wareham. Thank you. Pastor Fernandez, did he disappear? Oh, he's right here. And right after this, we'll have a special closing song or two, whatever he wants to do, by Teddy Matthews.
Thank you. That was just an awesome opportunity. That's my cousin, and As I sit in the room and to remind each one of us, it's always been the inspiration of those in our family who have risen to occasions to give us hope in life. Because I remember buying my pizza and watching my cousin behind the counter and learn integrity and character in my own life to try to stay on the straight and narrow like many people in this room. And so all these young adults in the room, be prepared in life. Always look up, never look down. Always look for what is ahead of you. Don't look for what is behind you. We all have a story, but what lies ahead of us gives us the inspiration to continue to move ahead. So keep moving ahead as you continue to grow in life and do things, and you can continue to be proud of people who are doing, having great accomplishments in your life. I want to close with just a very quick prayer analogy of some things, because I remember in the Bible in Genesis chapter 37 of the first dream of a young man. His name was Joseph. He had a dream, and when you have a dream, oftentimes you come into opposition in your life with the dream. His brothers disliked him because he had a dream. His parents weren't sure about his dream. And when he lived through life, people discouraged him because of his dream, trying to destroy him in the midst of his dream. He went through so many oppositions, but in the end of the story, God, through all he went through, God had arisen him out of the ashes of adversity and put him in charge of all of Egypt. So, young people, I want to let you know, no matter what, keep believing in the dream. Dr. Martin Luther King was a minister, so he believed in the dream and understood these principles and was able to translate it into all of our lives, that even today, we still live the dream. We believe it when we hear this speech, our hearts begin to beat and cry out and know that we have inspiration, that we would come against the inequalities in life and the things that have discouraged us, but we can have hope because the hope is always in the dream. And I thank him today for this. So young people, don't give up on your dream. Men and women in this room, don't you give up on your dream. No matter how old you are, God can fulfill the dream of your life. And these dreams will inspire the nation so that we can live with integrity and character. And that would be recognized from generation to generation to generation. This was the life of Dr. King shared with us today. So as we venture forth today, women and men of service, we ask God to go before us and to guide us. Renew us with a spirit of service, sacrificial love, and exemplify in the life of Dr. King. May we be vessels of hope and justice in a world filled with countless forms of violence and injustice. May we never stand on the sidelines and be silent as witnesses of injustice done upon our sisters and brothers of this great world we live in, but walk with our eyes wide open to the needs of our community. Wareham has always shown great need for its community, and I am proud. No matter where I go, people know Wareham. Just like they remember Jerusalem for where Jesus was, people know Wareham. No matter how small you think it is known around the world. So keep our ears open, our eyes wide. Keep your hands open. Be helpful, serve, and help your neighbor. Then we will not only be blessed, but we will be a blessing to this world. This is our prayer, that we will continue to live in peace and harmony together in the perfect love of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. God bless you, everyone, as God's doing some great things. As Teddy comes to the stage and going to bless us as we leave with a wonderful song.
Okay, at this time we're going to be treated by Teddy Matthews. Again, you know, I said it and it's been in the program. He made it through the judges. Nice send-off the other day at the Austin VFW, heading to Los Angeles to perform, to be on American Idol. And we're honored to have him up here. Maybe he'll sing one of the songs he's going to sing in front of the judges. But today, to me, the best judges are out there. How about a nice round of applause for
Everybody still with me out there? So this song is actually the song that I auditioned for Idol with. Figured it'd be nice to treat you guys to a little preview of what you'll see when the season airs come March. I was born by the river in nothing else, and oh, just like that river, I've been in ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the skies. It's been a long time coming, but I know that a change gon' come. Oh, yes it will. Oh, yes it will. Yes, No, I didn't want to leave you all with just that. If you don't mind, I'd like to do just one more song for you guys. You can play it whenever you're ready back there. So I've been singing this song since I was maybe 11 or 12. Back before I could really appreciate everything that it meant, you know? And now that I'm sort of making it to live out my dreams and everything, it just kind of feels right. Hope you enjoy it. At last, my love's come on. My lonely days are over. be checking out in March. Make sure you vote. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, everybody.
Well, that concludes our program. Again, thank you. Hope to see you all next year. Great job, everyone.